G'day guys, Coach Matt here, coming at you with pack 4. Now today, what you guys are going to be working on is ring dips to start off your strength portion. So we're going to go through a set of max ring dips. Now if you've got pack 4, you've got a dead ball dumbbell and a set of rings. Now, if you're like me and you don't have anywhere to hang a set of rings and you've got no idea how you're going to do ring dips without them hanging, it's okay. We've got some other options today. You guys can either find a window ledge somewhere, or a bench, or something that looks like this, even if it's like a tree log in a local park. And you guys are going to take a seat, put your hands on the bench, and then walk your legs out till they're nice and straight, toes to the roof. You want to keep your butt relatively close to the bench though. You don't want to be all the way out there. You want to be nice straight arm position to start with. From there, dipping down as low as you can, no further than 90 degrees, and coming back up again. So getting as deep as we can there without your butt touching the ground, going through as many reps as you can. Now obviously these are going to be a little bit easier than your ring dips. So you'll probably get a couple more reps done, but obviously keeping your legs out nice and straight is going to keep that weight a little bit more challenging than if you don't have your knees up. Alternatively, what you can do, if you've got bar stools, you can use those as an option. Now this is going to be a bit harder because you're obviously going to be supporting more of your body weight, but keeping them nice and close as you would your rings, placing your palms down. Now make sure that your hands are slightly turned out so that you're not loading up your wrists too much, because unlike our neutral grip position for our rings, your hands are now under a little bit more pressure in this position. From there, you're going to tuck your knees up, cross your legs if you need to, and then go through your dips, making sure you're trying not to touch the ground, but getting as low as you can and getting the depth into that position. So obviously a max set there. If you guys are using your rings, a few quick tips. Nice firm grip, keep them close, go down into your dip position, and then come back up again. So the key thing is to be pulling those rings in towards your body, because the further out they go, the weaker that dip position is, and the more stress it puts on your joints as well. So trying to keep that nice and close, biceps to the rings, and back up again. After you've done your max set, take note of how many reps you've done. So say you've done 10 reps. After that, you're going to go into 3 sets of 50% of your max. So if you've done 10 reps, 50% of that is 5. So you're going to do 3 sets of 5 ring dips and just rest as needed. So just make sure with those extra few sets that you do that you maintain that good form. So you're not just pumping through them as quick as you can, but if you're finding those 5 reps relatively easy, then add a bit of tempo. 3 seconds down, big explosion coming back up. All right, so guys, after that section of ring dips, you're going to go into an 8-minute EMOM with 2 alternating movements on each minute. So your first minute, you're going to be going through a 20 to 30 second L sit on the rings, or if you don't have the rings, using your bench. So what we're trying to do here is get our legs as elevated as possible, keep them nice and straight, and hold for that 20 to 30 seconds. Now this is relatively challenging to keep those legs up for that whole 30 seconds. If that's a bit challenging for you, tuck your knees up. That does make it a little bit easier because there's less weight in front of you counterbalancing you. So get those knees tucked up if you need to do that to scale that back. But we're looking for 20 to 30 seconds of work. Even if you've got to take a little bit of a breather in the middle there, still try and get as much duration out of that as possible. Because this is really going to help strengthen your shoulders and improve your core strength, as well as your hip flexors in lifting those legs up for that whole period of time. On the second minute, you guys are going to be going through 20 to 30 seconds of a straight arm plank. So super simple, you don't need any equipment for this one. Getting down to the floor, make sure your hands are stacked underneath your shoulders. Make sure you guys can see that. Nice and straight arms. We're not bowing our back and we're not pressing our butt up too high, but really just trying to keep a nice level position. What might be helpful for you guys with this is, if you can, set up a camera just like I have here, and you can turn your head and have a look at that camera and just see how straight your body is. That'll give you a little bit of a feedback if you're not quite sure whether your butt is super elevated or your butt's sagging. We're really just trying to keep everything nice and straight. So you're going to go through 4 rounds of each of those. So that's your 8-minute EMOM done. After that, guys, your workout today, 5 sets, 14 dumbbell thrusters and 5 dead ball over the shoulder. So So your dumbbell thrusters, you guys are probably going to break this up into 2 sets, or you can do the whole set if you want to. So your options, 14 reps, getting that dumbbell up to the shoulder. Now what I find helpful with these thrusters is to make sure the dumbbell isn't directly in front of your body, but it's shifted a little bit further back, so that it's almost like a back squat when you come down into that squat. Because when you squat, you really want to be able to get as much power into the dumbbell to drive it up as possible, which won't happen if it's sitting in front of you. So keeping that dumbbell in a nice position there, hips back, knees out, squatting down. As you come up, nice and fast, big shrug, pop the head through, and then get that dumbbell up overhead, back down. As you can see, a little bit behind me, front end is elevated so that the weight is further behind me, for when that thruster comes up, I can launch the weight. Because for most of you, this dumbbell is going to be very heavy. So you can either do 7 one side, 7 the other side, or you can do all 14 on one side if you want to, and then swap. It's up to you guys. Now from there, your 5 dead ball over the shoulder. Key thing here, guys, stay as close to the ball as possible. You don't want to be standing back here and trying to pick up the ball like this. It's going to take more effort. Work smart, not hard. Hips back. Get the ball to the knees, squeeze it into your hips, and use your hips to launch that ball over, rather than using your arms to crawl the weight up and toss it over. Use your hips, your glutes, your legs. They're the most powerful part, so launch that weight up. Almost like you would for a kettlebell swing, where you're trying to get that momentum heading away from you. You're launching that momentum and the weight up. Once you've done 5 sets of those, you've got a finisher. So take a breather, relax. This finisher is called a finisher for a good reason. It's quite intense, and you'll definitely be feeling it the next day. So we're starting off with Russian push-ups. Now they're not Russian because you're doing them quick. That was a joke, by the way. They're Russian because they're just a little bit different. So going into your push-up to start off with. Now make sure that you're well and truly on your toes. You're not sagging back too much, and you're not too far forward, because you're going to need that room for when you come down into the bottom part of the push-up. So coming down, chest to the floor, and what you're going to do is drop your elbows down to the floor. Shift your weight forward, and then come back up again. So you see how my weight is shifting on my toes there? Getting nice and low to the ground, but I'm not touching. Back down, back up, back to the top position. So that is your Russian push-up. So a few key points here, guys, that I found really helpful is the toes position. Allows your weight to shift back and forth. And start with your arms just a little bit lower than you normally would a push-up. So if your push-up is normally hands directly in front of the chest, start a little bit further back, so that there's room to shift your weight down to the floor. So you're really trying to get down to that bottom position. Keep your arm nice and close to your body. Try not to flare out too much, because this helps you shift your weight back as you come down to the bottom. This is really gonna help you guys with your dip positions and getting out of your ring muscle ups, all those extension movements. After that, guys, 10 dumbbell tricep extensions. So using that diamond shape with your hands, like so, to hold onto the head of the dumbbell. Pop it on your shoulder for support, and then as you guys get that weight behind you, start nice and low, and then press out nice and tall. You should be able to feel your biceps against your ears. Bring that weight down until it touches your upper back, and then pressing out again. Really important with this movement, guys, again, that you're keeping your elbows tucked, so you're not flaring out like this. You're keeping that movement concentrated and focusing on those triceps as you go through this movement. Also really important that when you guys extend out, you try not to arch your back. Try and keep your back relatively straight as you guys are pressing up. So we're not reaching out like this. We're really focusing that movement on just the arms. So take a breath in, squeeze those ribs down, and keep everything nice and tight. That's a big session for you guys today, so good luck, have fun. If you've got any questions, reach out, let us know. But keep doing what you guys are doing, absolutely crushing it. Catch you later.